Minecraft. Tell your friends. Tell your friends that Brian is going to do more science and exploration and tactics. Today we're going to study invisibility. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome back to Exploration and Tactics with Brian. I spent some off-camera time over at the mob farm, enchanting some diamond swords until I finally got a diamond sword with looting 3, and also a bunch of other good stuff. That's like possibly the best sword that you can get. I don't know enough about sword enchantments since I don't do them very often, but now that I have a looting 3 sword, I'm going to spend some time in the nether again and try to get some more wither skeleton skulls. Is the sun about to go down? The sun is about to go down. In any case, today I have cooked up a bunch of splash potions of invisibility. And I'll get a drinky potion of invisibility as well, because I want to do kind of a scavenger hunt of invisibility stuff. There's a number of mobs that I think have interesting characteristics when you hit them with splash potions of invisibility, and I've really not done any of them, and I was trying to look on the wiki and I didn't find a lot of information about it, and so I thought we would do some science, and so that's what we are going to do today. So I will make a cut and see you guys in a moment. Okay, to talk about invisibility, I think let's start with the player. Our hero, Brian, right now. If I drink a potion of invisibility, then I become invisible. You can still see the object that I'm holding in my hand, although mobs can't see you at this point. However, if you go ahead and put your armor on, then you become more visible both to other players as well as to the mobs. The wiki has information about it in terms of how far away the mobs can see you, and the more pieces of armor that you're wearing, the farther away the mobs can see you. But that is not what I wanted to do. I wanted to experiment with the other mobs in the game and see how invisibility potions work on them. And I think the one that perhaps a lot of people are aware of is sheep. Sheep, as far as I understand it, their wool is part of their armor component. And armor components are kind of the main ways that invisibility potions kind of work or don't work. And so, for example, if I splash these sheep... Wow! Oh yeah, I did get a number of them. Okay, great. And so you can see their wool, but you can't actually see the sheep inside them. And if I shear this guy, I'll get his wool, and then the sheep that was here effectively becomes invisible after that. And so sheep are kind of like the most amusing thing I think of when I think about other mobs in the game and invisibility potions. But that's probably one that you may have seen before. But I think perhaps there's a lot of other mobs that you can do interesting things with invisibility, and so those are the things I wanted to try to kind of show off next. And so that's why I have all these invisibility potions. And so let me go find the next mob that I want to try out. The next thing I want to try out with invisibility potions is a saddled pig. I think this is possibly the only pig I've ever saddled, and he's managed to stay alive the entire time, and he's been living here in the nether for a long time. Haven't you, piggy? And now he's invisible, and despite the fact that the pig is invisible, the saddle is part of the armor component, and so we can still see the saddle, and so that can help me ride him. It would be fun, actually, to, like, ride an invisible pig into battle or something. I don't have a carrot on a stick to use to kind of control him and move around. But I think that's the first time I've ever seen an invisible saddled pig, and so you just see the saddle floating around, and so that's pretty funny. Yeah, when the people at Mojang like put together like features like invisibility potions, like it would be so easy just to make the player become invisible, but the fact that they think of all these other things to do with all the other mobs, I think is one of the things that makes the game especially fun. Let's see. While we are in the nether, there is another nether mob that I think may have an interesting interaction. There's not a cart here. Why is there not a cart here? When it comes to invisibility potions, I don't actually know if this is true or not, but Blaze... You know, Blaze, when they're about to shoot you, like they become set on fire, kind of become a flame. And I think those flames that are on the blaze might be part of their armor component. And so I think maybe an invisible blaze, we wouldn't be able to see... Oh, here's the cart. It got stuck on the track somewhere. Am I going to be able to push this? No, this is going to be awful. Yuck, 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 yuck. I need to fix this. Dap, dap, dap. Darn it. I can't get out. Help. There we go. Come back, cart. Alright, that cart has been rescued. I really don't need these half slabs because zombie pigmen really don't walk on the tracks all that often. Let's go ahead and pick up this cart as well, and I'll just walk the rest of the way. All right, I'll make a cut and see you guys over at the fortress. Okay, so we are over at the fortress. Typically, there's lots of blazes around here, and so we'll try to find one of them. Got a fire resist potion on the bar, in case I happen to need that for some reason. Can't imagine why. But I really want to see if the blazes effectively become visible after being hit by an invisibility potion when they're doing their kind of like fire-up charge before they're about to fire at you. And of course, this is one of the few times I usually, bring a night vision potion to the nether whenever I come here. Should have brought my looting sword too, since we're going to get some wither skellies. I'll make a cut until I find some blazes so you guys don't have to suffer through this darkness. This wasn't originally on my list, but magma cubes have these little flashy particle effects. Oops, whoa. And so, yes, you can still see their little fiery particle effects, and so even an invisible magma cube is still reasonably visible, as well as, of course, just the noises. But I guess noises aren't something that invisibility potions... That would be cool if there was, like, a potion of stealth or something. Where is he? I'm trying to, like, punch him. There we go. Managed to get him. It would be cool if there were, like, a stealth potion or something that, like, made all of your footsteps and things silent. That could be useful in, like, PvP. I've added some light in here so that we will get fewer wither skeletons and hopefully more blazes. Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to make a cut. Usually I have tons of monsters spawning around here, and for whatever reason today I'm not getting any spawns, so it's kind of crazy. I did realize I have the looting 3 sword on my person now because I put it in the ender chest, and so I just grabbed it back out of the ender chest, so that as I am encountering any wither skeletons, I can try to get some wither skulls, perhaps. There we go, here's some blazes. Alright, and so I think to go ahead and make this easier, I'll go ahead and drink a fire resist potion. And then we'll run over here, and we'll see if possibly... Can I get a couple of you guys together so I can use one potion on both of you? I'm not sure how to draw you guys together, really. You guys aren't always very good chasey mobs. Alright, if I hit you with splash, yes! Okay, so A, you can see the smoke particles the entire time, and then when he's about to fire, he lights up on fire, and so you can still see that as well. And so blazes are very poor when it comes to being stealthy. You can pretty much see them all the time because the smoke particles are always there, and then when they're about to fire, they light up on fire. But that's still pretty cool. I think it would be fun, definitely on like a Vex map or some kind of CTM map. Invisible blazes would just be a little bit harder to see, especially in a dark room. I could imagine that these smoke particles wouldn't be all that easy to notice kind of right at the beginning. And so that could be an effective strategy for kind of like hiding the blazes. That might be fun. I don't think any other of the nether mobs would be too interesting to see invisible, except for wither skeletons, like when they pick up some of your armor or something. And yeah, that's one of the things I want to do next is armored mobs, but I think we'll go back to the overworld for that. So let me make a quick cut, and I will see you guys back over there. The invisible pig is still walking around over here. I think some pigmen can wear armor, and so I just want to see if I can get it. There we go. Great, he picked up the helmet. I'm not sure if throwing an invisibility potion at the pigman will make the pigman angry, and so I hope that it won't. Neat, but yeah, you can see the pigman's sword as well. I see, so there's another pigman over here. I can see the sword that he's carrying, and then if they're wearing some armor, you can see the armor that they're wearing as well. And so that is amusing. I do have a terrific sword, and so I am going to go ahead and kill these guys, even though they're all going to get angry at me. And one of them's invisible. But their AI is still pretty bad, so they are not good at finding paths to you. Our pig is no longer invisible, so hooray for that. I think there's still one more pig after me. Yeah, there he is. Pigman, I should say. Alright, but yeah, this sword is like sharpness 4 and knockback 2 and all kinds of awesome things, but I just wanted to get my helmet back. And yeah, so armored mobs, basically you can see that. And so skeletons, can you see their bows then as well? I actually don't know, and so we're going to go check that out. Actually, before we do the skeletons, there's another thing that I'm curious about. Mushrooms? I don't know if you can see like the mushrooms that are on their back. I don't know if that's part of the armor component, perhaps. And even if not, I wonder what happens when you shear them, and so... I have a surprising number of mushrooms in this thing right now, and so if I open this up and get a couple of them out and then try to close it back off again, please close, 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 close. I want to close the gate, close the gate, close the gate. There we go. And some of the mushrooms want back in. All right. But what I'm curious about is if I splash some of these guys with invisibility, can I get a couple of them together again? I could hold some wheat. Would you guys come stand together, please? That'd be really handy. Can I push you together? There we go. Push, push, push. That's close enough. Invisible mushrooms, yes! The mushrooms on their back are part of the armor component. That is awesome. And so you just see floating mushrooms going around. And then if I shear them, will he remain invisible or will he turn into a visible cow? I do not know. Let's find out. He turns back into a visible cow. And for those of you who don't know, when you have a mushroom, in addition to using a bucket to get milk or a wooden bowl to get mushroom stew, you can also shear them in order to turn them into a cow, and you can kill them and get leather. They have like more possible drops and different things than any other animal in the game. It is Crazy Town. I will use my looting 3 sword and gain a whole bunch of... Oh, and it sets these guys on fire too, so am I going to get cooked steak? Yes! Oh, this is an awesome sword for that kind of stuff. Wow. Neat. Alright, distracted asides. Let's go find some skeletons and perhaps some armored skeletons that we can, throw some splash potions of invisibility at. This is fun. I'm enjoying these invisibility potions. It's daytime in the overworld, and so I decided I wanted to come to the end, because I don't know if Endermen, when they pick up blocks, if the blocks that they pick up are visible or invisible with the invisibility potions. And so I'm basically just trying to entice the Enderman over here to perhaps pick up a dirt block, so I can then hit him with invisibility potion and we can see what happens. Ah, here's one over here. Great. Thank you, good sir, for indulging me with the invisibility test. Are you angry at me? You are angry at me. Hello. Goodbye. Alright, you have a block of dirt, and so if I... Oop! No! Missed him! He teleported away. Here he comes again. He's angry at me. I need to kill him so I stay alive. Yikes! Alright, this is more dangerous than I realized it was going to be. Alright, let's find another Enderman who's holding a piece of dirt and try to hit him with an invisibility potion while we're staying alive. Okay, here we go. So if I go... Splash invisibility! Yes, you can still see the block that he's holding. And so that's another amusing thing that I don't think I've ever seen before. Just a block floating around. I guess you can also see the purple particles, because Endermen always have these kind of purple nether portal teleportation particles going on with them. And of course, as you're walking around anything that's invisible, sometimes you see the little invisibility potion effects, these little gray swirlies happening around as well. I'm pretty sure he fell out of the trap, so I'm pretty sure he'll be a one-hit kill. Yeah. Funny to just see the... Did I anger another one of them? I think I angered another one of them. Oh, it's so dangerous. Alright, I've got almost all my hearts back. That was the main thing I wanted to see. We don't have to stick around in the end. I want to go do tests with skeletons and invisibility potions and try throwing them some armor as well. So, it's still daytime over here. Alright, the sun is about to set, and so I think the best place to go to fight skeletons will be over in the desert over here. And so I'm going to go over into the desert that's kind of behind this hill, because that's one of my best places to just kind of fight mobs around at night. The desert over here is relatively flat, and so it's a nice, easy place that we can spot various mobs. We might encounter some just naturally armored mobs on the surface, but if not, I have an extra pair of boots that I can just throw at a skeleton at some point. But I'm really curious to see just if their bows, since they're carrying bows, are things that you can see even when the skeleton's invisible, just kind of by itself. And, ooh, I have another, is it persistent? No. I was going to say persistent chunk error. There's a lot of unlit caves over here, so there's definitely more caving that I could do. If I need to collect any more resources, lots of unexplored caves over here. And let's see. Other things, I have a feeling like this is kind of like a little invisibility scavenger hunt where we're just trying to like find all the interesting mobs to throw invisibility potions at. I have a feeling this is going to wind up being a little bit of a shorter episode, but I'm going to have a little bit of bonus footage. Not a ton, but a little bit of bonus footage at the end of this episode related to the fan server. I mentioned recently, wonder if I can you want to wear these? Oops, wrong thing. Skeleton is going to wear my water bucket. Do you want to wear these boots? You do not. All right. I have a couple of spare invisibility. No, I'm down to my last potion of invisibility. Crap. Ba-dum. Do I want to get an armored skeleton? I think I want to get an armored skeleton. I mentioned in a previous video that the fan server is going to reset their map. And so I went back on the fan server, somewhere where I haven't been in a long while, just to record what I had at my plot, which is basically my little silverfish sculpture. And so I will have some footage of just me walking around my plot on the fan server as kind of a quick way to say goodbye to the old world on the fan server. But as I mentioned in the previous video, I think, assuming things kind of like stay according to the current plan, I think what I want to do is start doing more recording on the fan server, and basically I will do it at the beginning as they start the new world, do a bunch of caving episodes. I think that guy just dropped a bow for me. I thought I saw a bow drop, but perhaps I was wrong. Do a bunch of caving episodes on the fan server, and, you know, whenever I just want to do kind of like chit-chat, talking to you guys, and do some caving, I can do it over there in order to gather resources, because everyone's going to need a ton of resources, kind of right at the beginning of that map. And so, there we go. Here's an armored skeleton. Alright, here is the guy. Or is that an armored zombie? That's an armored zombie with a skeleton standing behind him. I see. Well, maybe I can hit both of these guys with one splash potion. And even though we won't get the... Let's do this. Boom! Alright, so you can see the skeleton bow. I can see it over there, just floating around. And so it's kind of like players, when players are invisible and carrying a bow. And so I can still find that skeleton. And yeah, obviously the armored zombie looked just like an armored player. You can still see all the armor. And I can just barely see... I should put another torch out here so you can see it better. The bow the skeleton is carrying. It really amuses me, like, seeing these invisible guys. Like, I should just make, like, 30 invisibility potions and just, like, throw them at everything whenever I go caving, just to make it more exciting and challenging. Because when they're up close, you can also see the little, invisibility swirly particles as well. That could be a different way to make things challenging. In addition to the extreme caving, I spend a bit more time in the mushroom biome trying to light up a second section of ocean, trying to get to another little area where things will be, you know, almost completely mob-capped. And then we can do some extreme caving over there, because I think that would be fun. But I think perhaps we've done enough for today. And so I will now transition over to some footage from the existing fan server where you can see my plot and the one little build I did with the silverfish sculpture. And other than that, I hope you guys are having a great day. I will see you again soon with more exploration and tactics. Bye-bye. I think I'll probably title this episode Invisible Scavenger Hunt. Wouldn't it be cool if there were a barely visible scavenger hunt for you guys hidden inside this episode?